I'll just give you a quick injury update here. Still gathering information on Devin. Right now we'll list him as day-to-day. And Taryn and Andre are both progressing, and we'll see where that goes this week. So with that, we'll open it up to your questions.
Is day-to-day considered a good thing at this point, or is it still too early to even make that?
Yeah, it's still day-to-day more so for just some question marks yet in terms of the evaluation.
But like you pulled up mid-run, usually guys do that, it's like they cramped up or something, so this is more advanced than that, or this is more
Yeah, again, still don't know definitively at this point what's going on there.
Coach, how close was Tyler this week? He's done a little bit more each successive week here. Was he pretty close on Sunday, or
Yeah.
I'm curious where he was at?
No, yeah, he's put in a couple good weeks, actually, Chris. So we just want to see how he does this week, and same situation. We'll take his case day to day, and I know he's anxious to get out there, and I thought he had a good week last week, and looking for him to build on that this week at practice.
That in passes, Coach, defensively, the first 2 weeks, I mean, it really kind of helped your pass defense out. Is that like at a point now where it's an added weapon for your defense to utilize each week?
No, we'd like to get there to the quarterback, but when we can't get there, we try and affect the quarterback any way we can, and our defensive line coaches do a really good job. Bill Turlink and Aaron White kind of coaching it. There's a timing element on that as well. So we've been productive the first 2 weeks with it, and then you saw Trent Murphy with the hustle play, just phenomenal effort and a big change in momentum before half there.
So going off that, how do you, Leslie, measure successful pass rush? Like if you're watching film and you say, yeah, that was a...
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of variables in that with timing again, and whether or not we can affect the quarterback, and there's different things we look for. Sometimes, numbers in terms of sacks don't always tell an accurate story. Sometimes they do. Most of the time, there's more to it than just sacks.
Harrison Phillips seemed to.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think he.
Appreciate that. This case with Ed, he's been so close to the quarterback so frequently in these first 2 games. I guess is that one of those situations where you have to look beyond sacks to really measure how well Russell has it?
No, I think Ed's playing with really good effort. He's got a lot of work to do, and just in terms of the overall down in and down out execution, coordination with the rush plan, and he's a young player that's only going to continue to get better as he continues to put more and more time in and continue to understand the opponent and life in the NFL, and which is naturally the case for most young players.
Harrison Phillips seemed to have a pretty nice game. What did you see when you went back and watched the film and how he played?
Yeah, really good to see. Harrison, just from the minute he's walked in the door, has taken his job and maxed his job out. And whatever his job has been, this week he got a little bit more volume in his job and rushed the passer better than he's rushed before, and he's worked on that. He was in his gap in the run defense and very active yesterday, and I thought, to your point, he played a really good game.
What do you front four in and out a lot? You substitute guys in and out a lot. You've done that since you've gotten here. How do you decide? Is it a feel thing as the game's going? How do you decide? Do you go in with a snap count in mind? How do you come up with those numbers?
Yeah, I mean, our defensive line coaches do it along with Leslie in terms of their plan during the week. So we just believe overall in trying to throw multiple fastballs at an offense, different looks, different rep count depending on maybe weather. It was warm yesterday, so we wanted to have fresh bodies, in particular down the stretch. So I thought we did a pretty good job with that in the rep count spread across the board yesterday amongst a number of guys. So, and you saw the results of that. They were productive down to the end of the game there, which was important for us.
Sean, the impressions of what you've seen from the offense after really had 2 tough quarters, 2 sloppy quarters in the first game, to how it's been able to get off as it did from the start and put together those 3 touchdown drives.
Yeah, I thought the execution was at an all-time high yesterday, and really going back to the last couple drives against the Jets, those 80-some yard drives or so, whatever they were. I mean, you have to be able to execute at a high level to string together those types of drives, and to have the discipline, to have the mental toughness, and to have the fundamentals to go along with it. That takes a lot. To string those type of drives together and come up with 7 points. And then that also goes, you have to cap it off with good red zone offense as well.
And how much does that speak to Josh? And the maturation, his maturation, and how he's taking control of the huddle and such?
Yeah, I mean, it's looking, Josh is in his second year, so he would tell you a lot of work yet to be done. I think he's understanding the game a little bit better within the game. And what he can and can't do, and how to respect, just in terms of, and how effective the checkdowns can be at times. You look at a great example was in the game the other day, yesterday we had the third down close to the goal line at the end of the game, and he threw the ball away. And then the next play was a penalty on special teams on them, and we get a first down. So I think that in and of itself is a step. We just have to continue to play smart football in all three phases. Way too many penalties. Yesterday in particular, pre-snap and post-whistle penalties, and the guys know how I feel about those.
Sean, what if anything changes in preparing for a home game as opposed to road games to start the season, especially for younger guys?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit this morning. First of all, we're excited to play at home. It's good to be home in front of our fans, and yet the preparation still has to be the same in terms of our process, and within that they have to understand that there are sometimes there's some things we have to handle, tickets, all that process is a little bit different. So we want to get that squared away as early as we can and get focused on our preparation. This is a good football team coming in here. It's early in the season, and we have a lot of work to do, and I think how we work this week and how we prepare will be key to our success.
Sean, can you comment on the job that both Saran and Dean did in nickel, especially against containing Evan Ingram, but just those guys, it seemed like the communication when each was supposed to be on the field was pretty flawless.
Yeah, it was a good plan overall. The defensive staff put together, and it was by committee there, and I thought both of them handled themselves well. I mean, in the run game, the pass game, and then Kevin coming in on top of that in some situations there was good for us. Just different looks. Both, or really all three of those guys, I thought took ownership of their role, and that's what I love about it. They're team first guys, and whatever they're asked to do, special teams, defense, inside, outside, safety, they've done and done well.
Sean, TJ Yeldon hasn't played a lot the first couple of weeks, but maybe that changes with Evan's status. How has he practiced? How has TJ practiced, and is he ready for that expanded role if it comes to that?
Yeah, no, TJ's done a nice job to this point. He's embraced his role as well. He hasn't gotten as many of the touches or lined up in the backfield quite as much as the other two have to this point. But really appreciate the way that he's just gritted his teeth and gone to work every day, all the way back from training camp up until now. So, whatever his role is this week, I expect he'll do the same and be mentally tough and give us all he's got.
He had a fumble in the first preseason game, and it was probably a low moment for him. But it seemed like the rest of the preseason he kind of turned it on a little bit. Did you notice that too? That he kind of ramped it up after that?
Yeah, no. Listen, that was a great opportunity for TJ and for us to learn as a team that you got to take care of the football. I think it was in the first game against the Colts in preseason, and he handled it in an extremely mature way, and I appreciate that. And again, I think he's just put his head down and he's worked. He doesn't say much. He's just worked, and you got to work, and sometimes you got to work while you wait, and I think he's done that.
What's the first and foremost thing that keeps you grounded after 2-0?
We've been around this league long enough to know that we got to continue to grow. We're not where we need to be, and we've got a lot of work to do. And the penalties, I thought we lost our edge a little bit in yesterday's game, in particular in the early part of the third quarter, and the way we finished the game. Bless you. The way we finished the game, I didn't think we finished it the right way, so I was not happy with that.
Sean, look around the league at all the quarterback injuries. Roethlisberger done for the season. Drew Brees gets banged up. how much confidence do you have in Matt Barkley, and how happy are you to know that you have him in your back pocket in case if anything ever happened to Josh?
Yeah, that's a fair question because of what you mentioned, Josh. I mean, you've got to have two, and that was one of the questions we needed to answer this offseason, this spring, this training camp, knowing what we knew about Matt, but also giving him another opportunity to show. And he got pretty good amount of playing time in training camp and the reps in practice, and then also in preseason games there, which was intentional. And we thought collectively he handled himself extremely well, and he's a great young man with a great smile and a great joy about him, brings a great energy to our football team.
Sean, that hit Micah had to jar the ball loose. I mean, just such technique, the textbook hit, and no penalty, obviously, and, guys, officials might be looking for that. Just how satisfying is that to know that, everybody was on the same page as far as the technique used, how he was able to approach that?
Yeah, he did a great job. I mean, that's probably like you would coach it, I imagine, Sal, I mean, lowered the strike zone, kept his head out of it, and didn't put the opponent in danger at all, and big-time play on third down to get off the field because they were inside the red zone there.
Sean, Cody Ford flagged for some unsportsmanlike conduct, I think it was, for what he said, having Josh's back. Is there a line there where you don't want guys to take it overboard? Or I guess where is the line between having your quarterback's back and just pushing it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think we've established that our guys play hard for one another and defend one another, but we've got to be smart. 2 consecutive weeks that we took potential field position or potential points off the board, and that's not smart.
Hey, Coach, just in reference to the Micah hit, Jordan's hit in defensive backfield, I mean, both textbook type of hits, legal. Is that some of that nastiness that you were talking about way back in training camp that you kind of want your defense to embody? Would that fall under that category?
On what play are you referring to, Chris? I'm sorry.
Jordan Poyer's hit deep in the secondary, late in the game, in the red zone there defensively, shoulder hit, totally legal.
Right.
Micah just jarring the ball loose. Is that kind of fit under that category that you wanted this defense to adopt here?
Yeah, it does. I'd like to see Jordan wrap up.
What about Quentin Spain, speaking of nasty? I mean, he had a couple blocks where he just engulfed the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we did some really good things up front. Quentin, I thought rebounded and played a better game this week than he did the past week, and that's a credit to his preparation as well. You could just tell the difference in the way he was preparing. And so I thought a lot of guys did some good things. Again, we're just not where we need to be. This is going to be an important week for us just in terms of an opportunity for us to grow as a football team again and bring the energy to our stadium and draw the energy from our fan base.
Sean, I counted at least 4 times third down and a couple third and long where Josh delivered some pretty significant plays in the passing game. How significant is that in terms of his development?
Yeah, it is significant. I mean, third down is one of the hardest downs. You've got to be able to throw it when they know you're going to throw it. We talk about that a lot on offense and with Coach Dable, and so they know we're throwing. We know we're throwing, and Josh converted. Now, give credit to the offensive line. I thought they gave him time in certain situations there, and some of those third downs were key for us. And Josh bought some time in other ones, and then his conversion to Cole Beasley in the early part of the game I thought was big, as well as John in the fourth quarter, as well as some others.
Sean, Ty slightly edging Cody in snap counts. After watching the film, do you anticipate that continuing to be the rotation we've seen at right tackle?
Yeah, we'll see. Again, it's going to be game to game at this point. It's just the season's too young to really put a finite number at this point or to commit at this point, especially early in the week.
Sean, you've had some long drives. How important is it to be able to move down the field that way and sustain those type of long drives, distance-wise?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the mark as you look at some of the really good offenses over the years, that you can sustain those drives. And when you need a drive, like we needed a drive yesterday, when momentum was starting to swing a little bit, when they pulled within 7, I thought our offense answered and put a heck of a drive together, both run and pass game mixed in there, and I thought our offensive line did a real nice job in there.